All right, let's talk about the weather. It is late summer, the heat is just relentless, and I bet your garden is starting to feel it. Today we're diving into one super important task that'll protect your plants from that crazy August sun and basically turn your garden into a heat-proof oasis.
So, let's kick things off with a question that I know drives so many of us gardeners crazy. You're out there every day, watering your potted plants, you're doing everything right, but by 3 o'clock, they just look sad and wilted. So what's the deal? Well, I can tell you, the answer isn't always just add more water. The real problem is happening somewhere you can't see, down in the roots.
You really need to start thinking of August as the danger zone for the health of your plant's roots. I mean, think about it. Those nice, gentle spring rains, they're a distant memory. Now you've just got that blazing sun baking the soil, especially in your containers, until it's as hard as a rock.
And this, right here, is the key thing to understand. When a plant is in the ground, the earth itself is like a natural insulator, right? It keeps things cool. But in a pot, wow, there is just a thin little layer of plastic or clay between that delicate root system and the full, scorching force of the sun. It makes them way more vulnerable than you'd think.
So, this extreme vulnerability leads to a problem that has a pretty intense name. It's called the root cook crisis. And yeah, it sounds dramatic, but for your plant, believe me, it is. This is the hidden enemy that's behind all that frustrating wilting.
This comparison chart just lays it all out perfectly. On one side, you have in-ground plants. Their roots can dig deep, staying cool and protected. But on the other side, potted plants. Their most important, delicate feeder roots are pressed right up against the side of the pot, which is basically a frying pan in the sun. It is a completely different world for them.
So here's the official definition. The root cook crisis is when the soil inside that container gets so incredibly hot that it literally starts to cook those fine little roots that are supposed to be absorbing water. This is exactly why a plant can look totally wilted, even when you touch the soil and it feels damp. Its little roots are just too damaged to drink.
And this single number, well, this says it all. 5 degrees Celsius. That is how much cooler the root zone can be in a pot that has mulch on it compared to one that doesn't. That 5 degrees might not sound like much to us, but for a plant, it's the difference between just struggling to survive and actually thriving. It's huge. So, how do we get that 5-degree advantage? Thankfully, it is not complicated at all. There is a super simple, totally actionable plan to fight the heat. We're going to call it the 1-2-3 Mulch Plan. Okay, here's the plan in a nutshell. It's broken down into 3 really clear parts. First, we're going to create a cooling layer. Super important. Second, we'll learn 2 little maintenance tricks that make a big difference. And third, we'll figure out which plants in your garden are going to benefit the most. It's a fantastic strategy. Okay, step 1. This is the most crucial part. The action is so simple. Just add a 2 to 3 centimeter layer of some kind of mulch. It could be bark chips, gravel, even cool-looking slate chippings, right on top of the soil in every single one of your pots. The whole goal here is to create a physical barrier. You want to completely eliminate that direct sun-to-soil contact. This layer acts like a shield for your roots, reflecting heat away and keeping everything underneath it insulated and cool. Step 2 is all about maximizing the effect with 2 smart little habits, or maintenance wins. First up is wet then wrap. I love that name. You always want to water your pots deeply first, and then put the mulch on top. That way you're locking in all that wonderful moisture in. The second win is the shadow check. Just be smart about placement. If you've got really sensitive plants, like hostas, move them. Tuck them into the shade that's cast by a bigger plant or a wall. It's like giving them their own little personal umbrella for the afternoon.
All right, so we've got the technique down pat. Now let's focus on those climate hero plants. These are the specific plants that are really sensitive to having hot roots, and they are going to thank you the most for this little midsummer mulch treatment.
First on our hero list, clematis. You've probably heard that old gardening wisdom, heads in the sun, feet in the shade. Well, for clematis, it is 100% true. Putting a nice thick mulch of pebbles or bark right at its base is absolutely essential to stop the roots from getting heat stressed, which is a major cause of that dreaded clematis wilt. Next up, the elegant calla lily. Now these plants, they love having plenty of water, but they absolutely hate hot soil. A simple layer of gravel mulch works wonders to keep their rhizomes, their underground stems, cool. This little trick prevents them from just giving up and going dormant way too early when a heat wave hits. And finally, the beautiful, but let's be honest, notoriously fussy gardenia. They are super sensitive to any changes in root temperature. A fresh top-up of pine bark mulch is perfect for them.
Not only does it keep their roots cool, but it also helps maintain that slightly acidic soil that they absolutely need to produce those amazing, fragrant flowers.
I think this quote just perfectly captures the whole idea. The sun is a life giver, but it's also a thief, right? The sun gives our plants the energy to grow, but when it's this intense, it becomes a thief that just steals precious water right out of the soil. And our layer of mulch, well, that's the security guard that stops the theft.
So, here is your takeaway, your call to action. Go outside and take a hard look at your pots. Seriously, right now. If you can see bare soil, your plants are exposed, and they are fighting a losing battle against the heat every single day. Now that you know the secret to shielding them, the only question left is, what are you going to choose for your mulch?